Welcome back to the channel JF Coin. Today we're diving deep into a classic piece of American numismatic history, the 1941 wheat penny, also known as the 1941 1-cent coin, featuring the wheat ear reverse, part of the iconic wheat penny series. This seemingly ordinary coin, face value just 1 cent, has a fascinating backstory, and under the right conditions, can be far more valuable than you might expect. Strap in, because we're going on a coin collecting journey. The story behind the 1941 wheat penny. The 1941 penny belongs to the broader lineage of wheat pennies, U.S. 1-cent coins minted from 1909 to 1958. The obverse front bears the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, replacing the older Liberty head penny designs. The reverse back shows two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and E pluribus unum. LincolnWheatpenny.com plus 2 usercoinbook.com plus 21941 was a busy year at the U.S. Mint. Across its facilities, the 1941 penny was struck in huge quantities. For example, the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, i.e. 1941p, alone produced 887,018,000 of them. Cointrackers.com plus 2 Spullion.com plus 2. Because of this massive mintage, most 1941 pennies ended up circulated, used in everyday commerce, piggy banks, and change jars. That large supply means a typical 1941 penny is much more common than many older or rarer coins. Cointrackers.com plus 2 Rarest.org plus 2. Still, the coin remains a historically important relic, a small slice of pre-war America, centuries-old copper craftsmanship, and a symbol of U.S. coinage tradition that has since evolved. So while millions were made, the 1941 penny endures, and under the right circumstances, can attract coin collecting interest. Dollar banknote. What is a 1941 wheat penny worth? Realistic market value. Here's the truth. If you hold a 1941 wheat penny in ordinary circulated condition, its value is usually only slightly above face value. But if the coin is uncirculated, pristine, or has special characteristics, it can fetch noticeably more. Let's break down typical values. A circulated 1941 penny, whether no mint mark, Philadelphia, 1941D, Denver, or 1941S, San Francisco, often sells for just a few cents or a few tens of cents. LincolnWheatpenny.com plus 2 usercoinbook.com plus 2. If the coin is uncirculated and in good condition, mint state, nice surface, value increases. For example, an uncirculated 1941p, no mint mark, wheat penny, in MS66, mint state, grade 66, red color, is listed at up to about US $24.24 on some coin tracking sources. Cointrackers.com. On the rare end, proof coins special, limited run coins struck with extra care, from 1941. Only about 21,100 were issued, can be significantly more valuable. Some sources suggest proof pennies from 1941 can fetch $40 plus or more, depending on condition. U.S. Coins Guide plus 2 Coin Value Checker plus 2. The actual market price always depends heavily on condition, grade, color, red versus brown tones, mint mark, and, in rare cases, errors or special strike varieties, though for 1941, errors are less commonly cited than for certain other years. Cointrackers.com plus 2 Antiques Know-how plus 2. Bottom line, most 1941 pennies are common, modestly valuable at best. But if you've got a well-preserved specimen, it might be worth a few dollars, or even more, to the right collector. Magnifying glass tilted right. Why the $42 claim, and what to watch out for. You mentioned a current value $42. That could be possible, but only if your 1941 penny meets favorable conditions. Here's what to check before believing a high-value claim. Condition is everything. A worn coin, even if dated 1941, usually sells for pennies, not dollars. Almost mint, or mint state, coins are the ones that command premium. Color/tone matters. Collectors prefer coins with preserved, red or red-brown color, less toning or corrosion. A dull brown coin, even if uncirculated, may fetch less. Certification helps. Coins authenticated and graded by reputable services, like PCGS, NGC, or equivalent, get the most trust and fetch better prices on the market. Mint mark and rarity side factors. Some mint marks, S, D, or none, may slightly affect desirability. But because 1941 was heavily produced across all three, none of the varieties are especially rare. Be skeptical of inflated listings. Online listings, on auction sites, marketplaces, often list coins at high asking prices, but those rarely represent actual sold prices. Many such listings are speculative, hoping someone inexperienced will pay more. So if someone claims a 1941 wheat penny is worth $42, that might be optimistic, but not impossible if conditions are near mint state and perhaps certified. Why heavy check mark what to do if you have a 1941 wheat penny, or want one? If you have a 1941 penny, here's what I'd recommend. Whether you plan to sell, collect, or just enjoy it as history, inspect carefully. Use a magnifying glass to check the coin's condition, color, wear, and whether it has any unusual features. Compare with graded examples. Look at photos of certified 1941 pennies in MS grade condition to see how your coin stacks up. Consider professional grading. If you believe it's uncirculated and in excellent condition, graded coins tend to sell for more. Research actual sold prices, not just asking prices, eBay sold listings, auction records, numismatic dealer sales, to see what similar coins fetched. Hold for history or nostalgia. Even if not worth much money, 1941 pennies are a tangible piece of history. A U.S. penny from the era before World War II, linking you to nearly a century ago. Clapperboard script idea. How you could present this as a YouTube video. What's up, coin lovers? Today we're zooming in on one of the most legendary but often overlooked coins in U.S. history, the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Yes, a coin that cost a cent, now might fetch $10, $20, maybe even more under the right conditions. But before you get too excited, let's break down exactly why some 1941 pennies are just pocket change, and others make serious coin collecting waves. First, the history. Over 887 million of the 1941 Philadelphia pennies were minted. That's almost a billion coins hitting pockets and cash registers across America, which means most of them got worn, scratched, and spent. For that reason, 99% of 1941 pennies you randomly find aren't worth more than a few cents. But then, occasionally, you get a gem. A penny with sharp detail, crisp features, maybe even a nice red copper tone. That's the kind of 1941 penny that might float into a collector's hands and sell for $20, $30, maybe even $40 plus. If you want to know how to inspect your penny, what to look for, and whether it might be worth holding onto, stay tuned. I'll walk you through grading, real-world market value, and what makes a wheat penny truly collectible. You can expand on the story using the historical facts, explain coin grading, show close-ups, like the images above, compare circulated versus uncirculated specimens, and share tips for viewers to check their own coins. It makes for compelling content, a hidden treasure in your pocket. Vibe that always draws interest. Direct hit final thoughts. Treasure or just spare change? The 1941 wheat penny is a coin with history, a relic from a bygone era of American coinage. But in most cases, it's common, worn, and modestly valued. Its real value lies in its condition. If preserved well, uncirculated, and perhaps certified, it can fetch a nice price. If you see a bold claim like, "This coin is worth $1,000. Treat it with healthy skepticism. Those are almost always hyped out. If you like, I can check actual recent auctions/sale data for 1941 wheat pennies, 2024 to 2025, and see real prices. This helps you judge whether that $42 estimate is realistic. Do you want me to build that price track list for you now? Today the wheat penny design is iconic. Lincoln on one side, wheat stalks on the reverse, a symbol of America's past, humble beginnings, and tradition. Condition sensitivity. Because so many were minted and circulated, a 1925 penny in worn condition is common. but a 1925 penny that survived in excellent, uncirculated, original copperhead condition is much rarer. Condition, strike quality, coloration, red, red-brown, brown, and mint mark all affect desirability among collectors. Coinweek.com +2 Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Collector demand and rarity by mint mark, while the Philadelphia, no mint mark, ones are the most common, 1925D, Denver, and 1925S, San Francisco, are more sought after, especially if well preserved, because they are fewer in number and tend to surface less often in high quality. Numismatics 101 +3 Lincolnweekpenny.com +3 Yuzukanbook.com +3 Current value and market. What 1925 pennies are worth in 2025. Here's a breakdown of typical values for a 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny, depending on mint mark and condition. As of 2025 variant/mint condition/grade typical value range *1925, Philadelphia, no mint mark, circulated/good, fine 10 to 50 cents Lincolnweekpenny.com +11925, Philadelphia, uncirculated/MS60, MS63.5, $25 Lincolnweekpenny.com +11925, Philadelphia. Gem uncirculated/MS65 plus, well preserved, nice red/brown, $40, $150 plus Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Numismatics 101 +2 1925D, Denver, circulated/good, fine $1, $5 plus Lincolnweekpenny.com +11925D uncirculated/MS60, MS63.50. $200 Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +21925D Gem uncirculated/MS65 plus $300, $1,000 plus Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +21925S, San Francisco, circulated/good, fine $1. $6 plus Lincolnweekpenny.com +11925S uncirculated/MS60, MS63.80, $300 Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +21925S Gem. Uncirculated/MS65 plus, rare, high demand, $400, $1,200 plus Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +2 *. These are approximate values. Actual price depends heavily on coin's condition, color, RD equals, red, RB equals, red-brown, BN equals, brown, strike quality, and market demand. Coinweek.com +2 Bullion Shark +2 So yes, under ideal circumstances, excellent condition, good strike, red color, a 1925 penny can be worth many times more than its face value. You might see common circulated examples for only cents, but a gem quality specimen can fetch tens or hundreds of dollars, or even more if it's exceptional. Why some people might claim $42 or higher. Is that realistic? You mentioned you've heard a value like $42. That's totally plausible. Many 1925 pennies, especially uncirculated or near uncirculated with nice color and clear details, often trade in that price range. For example, a 1925 penny from the Philadelphia Mint in gem uncirculated, MS65 plus, or a well-preserved 1925S or 1925D near MS60, MS63 might fall around that value, or sometimes higher. Lincolnweekpenny.com +2 Numismatics 101 +2 But keep in mind, condition is everything. A worn penny circulated for decades is likely worth only a few cents, or a dollar or two. A coin cleaned improperly, scratched, or with per-strike details might look nice, but its numismatic value drops steeply. Also, for coins like the 1925S or 1925D, which had lower mintages than Philadelphia, the best quality examples here are rarer, so a well-preserved specimen can attract premium and demand among collectors. Yuzukanbook.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +2 What to look for if you have, or find, a 1925 penny. If you ever get your hands on a 1925 penny, here's a quick checklist to judge whether it's worth getting excited about. Mint mark. Look just below the date. If there's a D, you've got a 1925 D. If S, a 1925 S. No letter means Philadelphia. Overall condition, wear and tear. Are the letters, date, wheat stalks and Lincoln's portrait still sharp? Or is everything smooth and worn down? Minimal wear equals better grade equals more value. Color/tone, original copper, red or red-brown. Color, RD/RB, tends to be more desirable than dark brown, BN, or heavily oxidized. Strike quality/details. Some 1925 pennies suffer from weak strikes, especially on reverse, making details shallow. Such coins are less desirable than those with crisp, strong details. Coinweek.com +2 Coin value checker +2 No cleaning or damage. Cleaned, polished, scratched, dented or corroded coins are treated as lower grade, even if they look nice. Collectors prefer coins with original surfaces. Certification, optional, but helps if a coin is graded and certified by a reputable service, with a grade like MS65, MS64, etc. It tends to attract more trust and higher price than an ungraded coin. If you find a 1925 penny and it passes the above, treat it carefully. Maybe have a professional numismatist or grading service check it. It could be more than just a penny. Why collecting 1925 wheat pennies is more than money. It's about legacy and story. Collecting old coins like the 1925 wheat penny isn't just about cash. When you hold one, you hold a small piece of history. Coins like this traveled through decades, from hands in 1925 America to jars, drawers, maybe forgotten, maybe cherished, surviving world events, economic changes, society transformations. For many collectors, coins mean memories. Maybe that 1925 penny belonged to a grandparent or ancestor. Maybe it was found in an old penny jar, or hidden in a book. For some, it's a way to connect to the past, to feel a tiny spark of history in their hands. And yes, sometimes they bring real value, financial or sentimental. Sometimes they remind us that even the smallest things, a penny, can carry stories worth preserving. Conclusion, final thoughts and what you should do. So, is your 1925 Lincoln wheat penny worth a lot? It depends. If it's worn and circulated, maybe it's just worth a few cents or $1. But if it's uncirculated, well preserved, with nice color, and perhaps a rare mint mark, you might be holding something that many collectors would love to have. If you find a 1925 penny in good shape, don't spend it. Treat it as a potential collectible. Clean your hands before touching it. Store it safely, in a holder, not with other loose coins, and maybe show it to a numismatic expert or community. Who knows, maybe that, just a penny, could turn into a surprising find worth real money. If you like, I can build a full ready-to-use YouTube script for you, with intro, narration, B-roll cues, camera shots, voiceover notes, background music suggestions, so you just need to record. Do you want me to build that full script for you now? Today we're diving deep into one of the most iconic everyday coins ever minted in the USA, the 1942 wheat penny, also known as the 1942 Lincoln cent. You may have heard that some of these are worth crazy amounts, maybe even $42 or more. But what's the real story behind their value, their history, and whether that penny in your pocket could be a hidden treasure? Let's find out. Scroll history and background. Why 1942 matters. The 1942 penny comes from a very special era. These coins were minted during the early years of United States Mint's large-scale production before America fully plunged into World War II. That gives them a unique place in history. LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 rarest.org +2 Composition-wise, the 1942 wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the classic, bronze, composition which was standard before the coinage metal changes forced by wartime needs. Usercoinbook.com +1 The coin's design is the classic. On the front obverse, you get the familiar portrait, the date, 1942, and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." On the back, reverse, you see the signature wheat sheaves design, hence, wheat penny. Coinidentifier.com +1 In 1942, Pennies were minted in 3 different mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark, about 657,796,000 coins. LincolnRepenny.com +1 Denver, D mint mark, around 206,698,000 coins. LincolnRepenny.com +1 San Francisco, S mint mark, about 85,590,000 coins. LincolnRepenny.com +1 Because of these huge production numbers, 1942 pennies are common relative to many rare coins. But the story doesn't end there. Magnifying glass tilted right, what determines its value, condition, mint mark, and more. Not all 1942 pennies are equal. Several factors make a big difference in what a penny is worth. Condition/grade. This is arguably the most important factor. A worn, circulated penny, with scratches, discoloration, wear on design, is worth far less than a well-preserved, uncirculated one. Cointrackers.com +2 Usercoinbook.com +2 Mint mark, origin, which mint produced the coin, Philadelphia, no mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, influences its value, especially for higher-grade examples. LincolnRepenny.com +2 Usercoinbook.com +2 Color/finish. Because the coin is copper-based, original coins had a reddish or brownish hue. Collectors often value a full red RD penny more than a brown BN1. Cointrackers.com +1 Special varieties/proof/error coins. There were proof strike 1942 pennies and potentially error coins. Some of these, especially in top condition, can be dramatically more valuable than common pennies. Pennyverse.info +2 Craftbuds.com +$2 banknote. What is a 1942 penny worth today, 2025? Reality check. Because of all the factors above, the value of a 1942 wheat penny can vary widely. Condition/type. Approximate value, USD, circulated, worn, common, any mint, a few cents to $0.30, 60 cents. Usercoinbook.com +2 Cointrackers.com +2 Better circulated, fine/very fine, 50 cents. A few dollars. Coinvaluelookup.com +1 Uncirculated/mint state, common strike. A few dollars to maybe $10 to $15 depending on condition and color. Usercoinbook.com +2 Usercoinbook.com +2 High quality uncirculated/rarity/rare. Varieties/proof/error specimens potentially much higher. Collector prices can rise significantly, but these are rare and must be verified/authenticated. Pennyverse.info +2 Craftbuds.com +2 Important note. Some sources that claim values like $1,000, $10,000 or more are referring to rare proof coins or exceptional error/rare variety coins, not typical pennies you find in circulation. Pennyverse.info +2 Coinidentifier.com +2 So if someone says, your 1942 penny is worth $42, that could be true only if the coin is in very good condition, perhaps uncirculated or with desirable grade/finish or a rare variety. Thinking face. So, is your 1942 penny a hidden gold mine or just old change? Here's a quick checklist and advice for you. What to look at if you dig up a 1942 penny and want to know if it's valuable. Look for the mint mark, if any, just under the date. Is it D or S or none? Philadelphia? Examine the condition carefully. Is the coin worn? Are the details, date, letters, words crisp and sharp? Any scratches, discoloration, or dullness will reduce value. Check the color/finish. A well-preserved, red or red-brown penny tends to attract more collector interest. Ask yourself, does it look like a regular pocket penny, or more like a preserved collectible/proof/error coin? If you believe it's in excellent condition, consider getting it authenticated/graded by a coin grading service. That greatly impacts value for serious buyers/collectors. Megaphone final thoughts. 1942 wheat penny, a coin with history. But be realistic, the 1942 wheat penny is a fascinating piece of U.S. coin history. A copper, pre-World War II cent, with beautifully iconic design. It's a lovely coin to hold onto for nostalgia, history, or a modest collector's corner. But unless it's in exceptional, almost mint condition or a rare proof/variety, Don't expect a random 1942 penny to be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Realistic market values for most are in the range of a few cents to a few dollars. If yours is a high-quality example, though, it could be worth more. And that's exactly what makes coin collecting a mixture of history, chance, and excitement. If you like, I can prep a full YouTube script for voiceover plus on-screen text version of all this, with intro, hook, historical narration, value analysis, closing call to action. That way you just need to record and edit. Do you want me to build that full script for you now? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny, its origins, what makes certain 1948 pennies more valuable than others, and how to spot whether yours might be a hidden gem. Grab your magnifying glass and let's go on a journey into the world of old coins and collector passion. Classical building the story behind the 1948 wheat penny. The 1948 penny belongs to the long-running wheat cent series, officially Lincoln wheat cent, minted between 1909 and 1958. Coinidentifier.com plus 2u.s. Coins Guide plus 2. Its obverse features a bust of Abraham Lincoln, the first time a real person appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Its reverse bears two stylized wheat ears, a tribute to America's agrarian roots and promise of prosperity. Coinidentifier.com plus 1. The coin is made of a bronze alloy, about 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Coinidentifier.com plus 1. In 1948, the United States was in a post-World War II period of economic recovery. That year the U.S. Mint struck a large number of these pennies, across 3 mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with D mint mark; and San Francisco, with S. Coinidentifier.com plus 2. Rarist.org plus 2. Total mintage for 1948 penny across all facilities was around 571.9 million coins. Coinidentifier.com plus 1. Because so many were produced and circulated, the vast majority of 1948 wheat pennies are common, and for decades many passed hands simply as everyday change. But for collectors, what matters isn't how many were made, but how well a coin survived. Heavy $ face value versus collector value. The huge gap from a distance. A 1948 penny seems worthless, just 1 cent. But close up? The difference between a spent, worn penny and a pristine, collector-grade coin can be dramatic. Condition/mint marks/grade approximate. Typical value * circulated, normal wear, a few cents, maybe 3 cents to 10 cents usually. U.S. Coins Guide plus 2. Cointrackers.com plus 2. Uncirculated/mint state, well preserved, good color, several dollars, maybe $1 to $5 plus depending on quality. Userconbook.com plus 2. Coinvaluechecker plus 2. Certified mint state, top grades like MS65, MS66 plus with original, red color, tens to hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases much more. Rarist.org plus 2. Coinvaluelookup.com plus 2. Asterisk values are approximate, vary with coin condition, market demand, and many other factors. So, yes, a 1948 penny in your pocket might be worth just 1 cent. But if it's been sitting untouched for decades and stayed in beautiful condition, it might fetch anywhere from a few dollars up to several hundred or more. Magnifying glass tilted right. What makes some 1948 wheat pennies special? What to look for if you're inspecting a 1948 wheat penny to see whether it might be valuable. Pay attention to mint mark. Check underneath the date. No mark. Philadelphia Mint, most produce. Rarist.org plus 1 inch D. Denver Mint. Rarist.org plus 1 S. San Francisco Mint. Coinidentifier.com plus 1 conditions/wear. A coin that's been in circulation will likely be worn, edges smoothed, details flattened. Those are usually worth little more than face value. But if the details, hair on Lincoln's head, letters, wheat stalks, are crisp and sharp, that could mean high grade/unspoiled condition. Color/luster. Collectors love the original, red RD, or red-brown RB, tones that show the copper surface hasn't corroded or been cleaned harshly. Brown, BN coins, dark and worn, are less desirable. Cointrackers.com +2 Coin value checker +2 No cleaning or polishing. Surprisingly, cleaning an old penny, even to make it shine, often destroys its collector value. It removes original surfaces and natural patina. Coinidentifier.com +1 Mint State/certification. Coins graded by reputable grading services, with labels like MS65, MS66, etc., command the premium, because buyers trust that the coin hasn't been altered or damaged. Rarest.org +2 Coin value checker +2 direct hit. So, could your 1948 penny really be worth $42 or more? Maybe. But most likely, not, unless it's been exceptionally well preserved. Here's why. For a typical 1948 penny with circulation where value tends to remain low, often just a few cents to maybe $1 or $2. Usercoinbook.com +2 U.S. Coins Guide +2 for an uncirculated or mint state 1948 penny, the value jumps, and many such coins trade in the range of $5 to $25 plus depending on color and exact condition. Usercoinbook.com +2 Coin value checker +2 in rare top quality cases, especially coins graded high by experts, with red color preserved, values can rise significantly, and some 1948 pennies have reportedly sold for hundreds of dollars or more. Rarest.org +2 Coinvaluelookup.com +2 So if someone claims that all 1948 pennies are now worth $42, that's almost certainly an exaggeration or marketing hype. But a well-preserved, certified top-grade piece could reasonably reach or even exceed that, depending on marketplace demand. Magnifying glass still to left. What to do if you found a 1948 penny. Quick checklist. If you have a 1948 wheat penny and you want to see if it might be valuable, here's what you should do. Examine under good light or magnifier. Look at details, date, mint mark. Sculpting details on Lincoln's bust, wheat stalks on reverse. Check color and surface. Is it original red or red-brown? Are there scratches, signs of cleaning, discoloration, corrosion? Avoid cleaning or polishing. Let it remain natural. Cleaning can severely reduce value. If in great condition, consider professional grading. A certified grade, e.g. MS65 or higher, from a trusted coin grading company can dramatically improve its resales/collectible value. Research market values and recent sales. Coin values fluctuate over time. Rare or top-graded pennies get more attention. Brain final thoughts. Small coin. Big possibility. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny started life as a simple 1-cent piece used by everyday Americans. But for collectors, it's more than that. It's a piece of history, a symbol of mid-20th century America, and sometimes, a small gem worth far more than pocket change. Yes, most 1948 pennies you find will be common, worn, and worth only cents. But every now and then, one slips through time's fingers, untouched, preserved, intact. And that penny? It might carry a premium far beyond its humble face value. So next time you're sifting through old change or inherited coins, take a moment. Look closely. You might just be surprised. Because with the right coin, and a bit of patience, even a 1-cent penny can change the story. If you like, I can also write a full YouTube-ready script for you, with intro, hook, body, call to action, and engaging hooks, using this information, written in high-energy style to grab viewers' attention. Do you want me to build that full script now?